All the finance teams using NetSuite accounting software can now show the withholding tax to the customers to understand how much needs to be paid and provide the withholding tax certificate without any manual follow-ups. Peakflo will also send the customers an email with payment receipt for payment confirmation. Additionally, finance teams using NetSuite accounting software to issue e-invoices can now sync the invoice details with the Peakflo customer portal. This way, the tax invoice PDF will be accessible to the customers at all times. Admins can now assign a company default account manager to ensure that at least one manager is assigned per customer to manage customer disputes and queries. Finance teams can now offset the payment charges deducted by bank and mark the invoices as fully paid. Peakflo can now include details of any unapplied payments along with the net of overdue unapplied payments to the automated reminders. This will ensure that correct outstanding amount is shared with your customers. For international companies issuing multi-currency invoices, Peakflo now shows currency conversion when payment is created. Similarly, credit notes show currency conversion when applied to invoices. And the finance team will have full visibility over the amount received in base currency using correct foreign exchange rates. AR managers can now send multiple ad hoc email reminders in one go on the invoice level for the overdue invoices. Admins can now give access to employees to only view specific customer information and timeline. AR managers can now include a PDF of the summary of accounts in the automated reminder sent to the customers for better visibility over the collection details. Peakflo's new purchase request and purchase quote module can manage the entire procurement process. Employees can now raise purchase requests in Peakflo with only the essential detail of what needs to be procured. Purchase requests can be assigned to approval workflows to speed up the purchase request approval process. Once the purchase request is approved, procurement team can create multiple purchase quotes corresponding to different vendors in 3 easy steps. Select line items which need to be procured together. Select the vendors. And then send an email including the purchase request details to the selected vendors. Peakflo will send separate emails to all the vendors with a single click. Capture the vendor replies and purchase quote timeline and notify the procurement team about the vendor response. The entire conversation can be tracked in Peakflo along with the audit trail. Once the vendor is finalized, the chosen purchase quote can be converted into a purchase order and remaining purchase quotes can be voided. After full approval of the purchase order, it can be e-signed and sent to the vendors automatically or manually. The purchase order can be matched to the vendor bill before payment. Procurement team can now create goods receipt note and service receipt notes which track the delivery of goods receipt against purchase orders raised for the vendor. Receipt notes can be assigned to approval workflows to speed up the approval process. Procurement team can now include additional custom fields and details to the purchase quote and purchase order PDF sent to the vendors. Procurement team and employees can now perform mass actions for purchase requests raised in Peakflo for a faster procurement process. The procurement and employees can have full visibility over the budget status when creating PRs, PQs, POs, and bills. They can easily view how much of the budget has been utilized and how much is remaining. Budget details are also visible to the approvers at the time of approval. For the finance teams using Journal accounting software, Peakflo now syncs line item descriptions from Journal, and the same descriptions could also be shared with the vendors. Upon receiving the bill from the vendors and full approval of the bill along with the description will sync back to Journal. Admins and procurement team can now deactivate vendors within Peakflo to ensure that while selecting vendors, the inactive ones are not assigned to purchase orders and bills by mistake. Account team can now define chart of account on an inventory level for easier bookkeeping. Additionally, both receivables as well as payables items can be categorized correctly. Finance teams can now set lock date for bills on an account level so that the bills issued after the lock date do not get processed for payment. This will ensure a profit and loss is created and maintained monthly without any issues. All Peakflo users can now track latest feature releases right within Peakflo itself. For more information, check out our help portal at help.peakflo.co.